Coming up on today's Code Bet Daily, it is a huge weekend of, sport, everything. I'll tell you what, I'm looking at AFL, NRL, NFL, everything under the sun, I think, because Stats Guy, what are you talking about?
Some the NRL's top try scorer and a bit of value in the F1 Austrian Grand Prix.
Nice one. What about you, Alex?
I'm looking forward to winning a sandwich yet again off you.
Checks out. We're talking player props, game picks, best bets. We've got to rate my multi, and of course it's Friday, so there's the donation. It's a chock full of awesome value Code Bet Daily today. Better check it out. It's coming up right now. Welcome to Code Bet Daily. It is Friday, June 30. Happy birthday to both great-grandmothers on my side of the family, which is pretty chaos. They're both named Mary, and they're both June 30, and they're both in their 90s.
Wow. Wasn't expecting that.
I didn't have the odds for making over 90, but Jaymz, good on them. Right, this is episode 141 here of Code Bet Daily. I am your host, Jaymz Clements. I'm the editor of a very good website. And surprise twist, it's called Code Bet. You can find it at codebet.com.au. I'm joined, as always, by the pontiffs. That's right, the pontiffs of punting. Nailed it today. We've got Alex Donnelly over there.
Counting a bit of cash after Steve Smith turned up for us last night. The 375, a little something. I think Stats Guy was crying in the group chat this morning about Nathan Lyon. Don't forget, Stats Guy, we have the guy who made Virat Kohli his bitch in Murphy. Just getting ready. He'll be back in. Get him in. Get Todd in.
I like it. Todd Murphy's. Go there for all my booze. Anyway, and we've got the Stats Guy up there, Liam McAllion. What's going on, Stats Guy?
Yeah, I don't mind the wizard, Todd Murphy. We're in a bit of trouble in the Ashes, but hopefully we'll bounce back over the next couple of days. But yeah, we'll see how we go.
Probably going to be a draw the way it's going.
Yeah, just seems like it's a bit flat. So a bit flatter than I expected, especially with the wicket-taking odds, stuff like that, right? Righto, this is it. It's Code Whinging Poms Daily. No, it's Code Bet Daily, isn't it? It says it on the tin. It's Code It's Betting It's Daily. We are covering a lot today as well. A lot of different codes, I think. We've got player props, game picks, best bets, rate my multi, and of course it's Friday, so we have Alex's donation.
Very keen for that.
How can it lose? And away we go.
It's actually really Larry this week.
As opposed to every other week. Yeah.
Oh, don't worry. I had one in my mind that I was going to do. I was like, I might wait for next week for this one, but yeah, I've got a very Larry one coming up next week.
Sounds good.
Nice one. Well, the Rate My Multi as well is just an AFL lines bet as well. There's a couple of interesting ones on that. I just sort of dug in a little bit. And so what am I looking at today? I've got AFL player props coming at the wazoo. We've got NRL and some NFL futures.
Ooh.
So I'm just starting to dip the toes into the NFL season, and I cannot wait. What about you there, Alex?
Having a look at an EPL transfer, another one there, and then some NRL games for tonight and tomorrow, and then, of course, the donation to finish off.
Nice one. We might end up talking about the same NRL games. Who knows?
Maybe.
What about you, Stats Guy?
A bit of everything. A bit of NRLs, same as you guys, some tennis and the Eastbourne Open, and F1 in Austria.
So where's Eastbourne, Stats Guy?
Somewhere in Birmingham or somewhere in England somewhere. I'm not too sure, to be honest. I was looking at the betting. It doesn't say that on Ladbrokes where it is, so it's all good.
This is where Alex is then meant to provide said information. And go,
no, Stats Guy know that. No, just, yeah. It's England,
it's not the biggest tournament, but it's got, some good odds.
It's in East Sussex, apparently.
There you go.
They are famous for the Eastbourne Pier and the Sovereign Harbour Marina.
Oh, love the East.
We're going to do a live show from there next year, I reckon.
One of the great piers in the world.
We're going to go there, and then we're going to go to Club Bruges.
Yeah, nice.
Dig it. Righto, let's get into the player props then. Easy ones for me over the weekend. Bit of AFL. So we have a really, really couple of strange up and down games, right? We talked about this on the AFL show yesterday, especially that Freo Dogs game. Like, best of luck with that one.
Tough.
Also, a lot of changes in a few of the games too, with a couple of key ins and outs. Like the Swans one was thrown into chaos last night when teams got named. There's a couple of changes for GWS as well on the weekend, so it's a bit all over the joint.
Yeah. The one thing that stood out to me, so we posted Marcus's game preview on this. He has gone Caleb Serong 25 plus disposals and a goal. I've gone Serong gets 30. We're laughing. Let's go 30 plus anytime goal. $5.38. Really, really enjoyed that. Just a quick little same game multi. I think the thing is, like, Serong, he's priced wildly long in terms of goal kicking, but has hit the scoreboard. So I'm just like, we're diving back in. Let's go. sing me a song, Caleb Serong, and it's going to be one where I make a bunch of cash. So that idea of the 30 plus Caleb Serong as well, right? So he has been a consistent deliverer of that this year to the tune where he's like just almost unstoppable. Like, what is he at this year? He's averaging 30 plus. So he's gone 32, 32, 31 in his last 3, and he's kicked a goal in 4 of his last 5 games. So I love this. I'm all over that one. It's probably my favorite player prop for the entire AFL weekend, outside, of course, the $2.10 that I always have for my 25, 25, 20. It sounds like a great song, 19, 20, 20. So there we go. I should create another song, 25, 25, 20. It doesn't quite have the same ring. But Butters, Rosé and Wines, $2.10. Love that. That's with Bet, the featured same game multi against Essendon. Essendon, their midfield pressure, not great.
Yeah, not there.
So
sometimes.
I think there'll be plenty of ball to be had. That game is at the G as well. I think Butters, Rosé and Wines will have a field day. Tex Walker against your gentleman there, Stats Guy, playing North.
Yeah.
4 plus. Didn't like that. $2.25.
Too short. Yeah.
$3.90.
Oh, okay.
Let's go. I love a big bustling dashy. And I think at Adelaide Oval, we're going to see an absolute belt down. I'm really sorry, Stats Guy.
No, I don't mind that.
Are you really sorry?
Yeah.
I'm not really, but
Not
I think
really.
it's just it should be one of the more entertaining beatdowns of the season, though.
I think we could score a bit.
High scoring.
Yeah.
I'll get to that in a second as well. But I think Fogarty could go for the 4 plus easily. And I wouldn't mind, like, I'll probably load up on this with like Rankine 2 plus, probably even throw Thrillthorpe in there for a couple. Tex in there for 2 or 3.
Get Dawson
plus.
in there for a single.
Get
as well,
Silver in there for 2 as well.
None of this junk about Zerha though.
I was going to say, what about the fan favourite Stats Guy? I'll throw him in too.
Lukey Pedler. Can't forget about him.
Nice. And then the last one, player props for the AFL. Sam, well, I mentioned this on the AFL show, the 35 plus. I've looked at this more and more and more. I've just gone, yes, please. $2.55 for Sam Walsh to go for 35 plus against Hawthorn. He was really good prior to the bye at the G against the Hawks. I think he'll be in and amongst it plenty. And the 35 he should get to pretty easily. Alex, what about you? How are you looking for your player props?
Having a look at a player transfer in the EPL, namely James Ward-Prowse, currently plays for Southampton, of course, got relegated down to the Championship at the end of the EPL season. Look, let's be honest, he's too good to be playing in the Championship, and Southampton, they'll need a bit of cash to come in to sort of help re-bolster their squad to try and get straight back up into the EPL. Apparently, they slapped like a $50 million price on his head. Like, let's be honest, you're down in the Championship.
Yeah. He's the best free kick taker in the world, but
no, he's the best free kick taker in the world. That's great. They still ran last, Stats Guy. Like when James Maddison is selling for 40 from the same, from down in the Championship like Leicester were, James Ward-Prowse is not better than James Maddison. So you think something 30 to 40 million, it does help get the cash in anyway. And then you sort of think, where's he going to end up? He's not. No disrespect to him, he's not good enough to play in a top 6 team and be a starter week in, week out there. He's sort of more in the mold of someone who could go to a West Ham, which really fits in well because, they have some money to spend because Declan Rice has been sold for $100 million across to Arsenal. So they can spend 30 of their 100 mil on a player like James Ward-Prowse, and he fits straight into that Declan Rice central midfield role. They can also probably get another player in, but the cut price cost as well, as said by Stats Guy, gun free kick taker. They do need him because Rice had been taking some of their free kicks. He fits this West Ham profile really well. Like, good club, not a great club, but starts week in, week out. Also, they've got Europa League football. They're straight into the group stages by winning the Conference League. So it's like, hey, that's kind of an incentive to go there as well, rather than a team like Fulham, who are apparently in the race for him as well. I reckon he ends up across at West Ham, and it's $2.50 currently.
So to bet specifically on the team that he goes to, that is awesome.
Yeah.
God, I love
We've got a few of those.
We nailed Declan Rice last week. We got
$2.75
about a certainty. We took the $1.90 about James Maddison, so it's been a good couple of weeks.
Now I've got to dig into and see if I can find any odds for like where James Harden ends up in the NBA and stuff like that.
What has the good strip clubs and buffets?
Houston, Atlanta. So I don't know, but the trade value sort of stuff is awesome, and I love this for the transfers too. So nice one.
Like Harry Kane's even money to end up at Bayern Munich.
I believe it's pronounced Harry Kane.
Harry Kane.
Right. Stats Guy, what have you got?
Yeah, we're just looking at the player props. We were spot on with Steve Smith the other night, obviously. Very happy with that. Cashed in.
It's going off as well, buddy.
Yeah, I think that's. I was hoping you guys couldn't hear
Is that
that.
Grandma McAllion printing off the form for Warwick
I
Nabil
don't
today?
know. It's like cleaning or something. I might have to take that out in a second while you guys do your bet.
McAllion printing out of form. Dead.
Oh my God, Warwick Nabil actually has races on today. I actually just randomly said that. There are races there. I'm going to find a winner.
Anyway.
Yeah, thank you. Some NRL, looking at the Canterbury Bulldogs taking on the Newcastle Knights on Sunday. Not the best game going around with two bottom four teams, but I'm having a look at an absolute gun who is leading the tries. Can't even talk. The tries in the league. He's got Dominic Young has got 16 tries in just 14 games, leading the league, and that's amazing for a team that's 14th on the ladder in the Knights. Very surprised that he's up there, and he keeps continuing to score no matter what. He's pretty much their only main attacking threat. They've got a few guys on 4 or 5 tries for the season, and he's on 16. So he's just absolutely killing it. The Bulldogs as well, their opponent, have lost 5 of their last 6 games and conceded 27 points per game during this time, which is a lot. And they're second last on the ladder. So I think the Knights can, even though they're only a couple of spots ahead, I think they can win this one easily. Young's got 5 tries. He's had 2 or more tries in 5 games this year, and he's got 7 tries in his past 5 games. I think if any time he's going to go 2+ again, it's going to be against one of the worst teams in the Bulldogs at the moment. They've got a lot of injuries. They're just being really poor on defense. So 2+ tries, I'm really keen on at $4.40 through Ladbrokes. And then just anytime try score $1.70, I think that's an absolute lock for a multi. But yeah, the 2+ is a bit more value, and I think he's going to have another double in this one.
Nice one. That's a good call. I think in today's paper, we have a double pick as well for Alex Johnston for the Rabbitohs, right?
You found a bit of value there.
There's like a crazy price, I think, on BetR for like $6.25, where I think Johnston has done it like 4 or 5 times or something against specifically whoever they're playing tonight, like the Warriors.
Warriors, yeah.
So, yeah, it's kind of weird.
The first at Warwick Nabil is legitimately in 5 minutes. Like, seriously.
All right, let's get into it. The game picks. I mentioned this, a bit of NRL, and we might have hit on this, I think, the same game here, Alex, but matchless game picks, NRL Friday, Melbourne versus Penrith. Watch out. Marvel.
Yep.
Oh, geez, Melbourne are pretty good at home. Well, they're not at home, are they?
No one's at home this one, yeah.
This is a weird one, but I'm not going to go with the actual results. Going the under, 38.5. These two teams just love low-scoring affairs, don't they? Melbourne and Penrith. 10-20 is their combined record against the over. That is not great if you want to go the over. It's awesome if you want to go the under.
Yeah.
So we're going the under, 38.5. And then on Saturday, you've got Canberra versus Gold Coast. Over 45.5. These are the 12th and 6th best offenses. And I think, like, when they say Canberra's the 12th best offense, it's like, they've got a lot of upside, though. It's a team where their offense can at least sort of pace because their defense has been so sketchy at times. I think they'll jump back into it. Gold Coast are absolutely flying at the moment, so I think there'll be plenty of points scored in that one. Give me the over. And then in the AFL, Adelaide North, stats guy, the over just keeps creeping up in this one. 180.
It was 176 at the start of the week, yeah.
Jeez, 180.5 going over. Don't really care. Let's go. Yeah. Essendon versus Port, over 168.5 as well. Even though it's at the G, Essendon still have like a bit of the they had earlier in the season, they're averaging over 100 points a game. That has dropped off significantly in the past, 2 months or so. But I think there's still the upside there for them to try to keep up with Port, who are they put so much pressure on you to keep scoring. And I think this will open up a little bit in the sort of mid part of this game, and we sort of start getting a little bit of a push towards that over. So 168.5 there. I like that. And then Carlton Hawthorn on Sunday in the AFL. Under 163.5. Yeah. I said this on the AFL show yesterday. What is it? This is 15th versus 16th on the ladder, and it's 15th versus 17th in offense. Wow. So go the under, because Carlton put up a number against Gold Coast 2 weeks ago, but they are now coming off the bye. I wouldn't be surprised if one team actually puts up a half-decent score, but the other one really struggles. I don't know which side. I'd like it to be Carlton. Yeah. I just might be very wrong because they stink. So easy as that. Let's go the under, and that makes it easy for everybody, because that game just screams like 80-40. Oh,
yeah, gross. Pretty much.
Just sort of cold Sunday at the MCG. Enjoy. There you go. All right. What about you, Alex, for your game picks?
Yeah, talking about that same Panthers Storm game. Panthers basically back at full strength as outlined on the NRL show yesterday. Under the roof at Marvel. Fast, free-flowing football, hard deck. This one should hit the overs, given the way that both teams have great attacking prowess. I know that Jim's mentioned on 10 of 20 going under in that, but look, Cam Munster back in, a bunch of the Raiders players back in from Origin. This will be high class and entertaining. I actually don't mind Penrith to win this game as well. So Penrith and the over 38.5 at $4.50 really caught my eye. Take that one. And the Raiders should take care of the Titans at home. Raiders win and get into the top four. Yeah, the Titans are going okay, but there's an absolute crap ton going on at that club behind the scenes after sacking the coach. None of the players knew. None of these other staff members knew. It was literally a board decision. Sack the coach, bring in Desi for next year. But hey, it's the NRL, so cool. Whatever. There's a lot other, worse things going on in the NRL. Let's not talk about that. But anyway, Raiders are $1.65. They'll win.
I feel like the over-under of that Penrith Storm game sounds like a bit of a sandwich bet between you and I there, Alex. I've gone the under.
Well, you already owe me a sandwich, so...
Yeah, double or nothing.
Double sandwich.
So there's your Monday and Tuesday sorted, brother. How do we feel about that? What do you reckon? Over
yeah, sure.
The 8.5?
Yeah, over. I'm
over. Can I go the 38
Shut
exactly?
up, Stats Guy.
Stats goes, can I get a coffee? It's not a lunch order, Stats.
Alex still owes me a sandwich. I'm keen for that one.
I'm going the under. Nice one. All right, what about you, Stats Guy? What are you looking at for your game picks?
As I mentioned before, some Eastbourne Open tennis, which is, of course, in East Sussex, Alex. You just researched that one before. We're looking at the most French-named person versus the most American-named person in Gregoire Barrère taking on Tommy Paul. Paul is ranked 17th in the world, second seed in this tournament, and he's in career best form. He cost me so many mults.
Wait. Gregoire Barrère. It's basically his name's Greg Barry versus Tommy Paul.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm pretty sure no one in Paris has called him Greg Barry.
Oi, Greg. No, Greg Barry. That's what I'm looking at. That's amazing.
That's there, true.
Greg Barry taking on Tommy Paul. Let's go.
Pretty much. That's the easy translation from French there. Tommy Paul has been in amazing form. He cost me so many multis in the Australian Open where he just had so many upset wins. I think he was not even top 50 in the world and he was beating some top 10 players. He got to the semi-finals and he's just kept on that form since then. He's been Hurkacz and Fritz in the last month and they're both top 10 in the world. So he's pushing up to that top 15, top 10 in the world at the moment. And he's got much more power than Barrère here and just a better overall game. 50 spots ranked higher in the world at the moment. Tommy Paul also beat Barrère in the last meeting and just has been a lot more controlled in this tournament with a couple of straight set wins. So I think he's going to have another straight set win here. So Tommy Paul 2-0 in the sets is $2.20, just in great form, and get on the American man here.
On the grass. Love it.
Yeah, on grass, yes.
It's not on clay?
No, definitely not. All the tournaments I know, definitely on grass.
Can't wait till we get to hard court season again. But there's nothing quite like grass.
It looks good on the grass, especially on TV.
Love it. All right, good job. Best bets for today, tomorrow, whenever. I've actually got a couple of futures here as well as a weekend full of Red My Multi. But some futures. I want to talk some NFL. As I said, I've started digging in just a little bit. As it sort of clicks over to July, you're going, well, I need all my NFL articles up in August because it starts in September. Jeez. And one of my favorite things going in every single season is the total wins. Over under for each team.
Nice.
To the point where I think when we launched CodeBet September 1 last year, that was one of our first articles, a big NFL preview, including some of my locks for that. I think out of the ones that I had on there, like there was a pretty big success rate as well. A couple of my big losses and misses on that were just like trusting that the Denver Broncos wouldn't stink and that your man, Mr. Unlimited, Russell Wilson, wouldn't be an absolute tire fire in Denver. But everything else nailed it, especially, weirdly enough, the team that eventually made the Super Bowl, the Eagles, who heading into the season didn't have too many reps and then slowly built up just like that hype train and then lived up to it, which is pretty rare. But I really enjoy the old preseason over-under wins. A couple ones that really stood out to me just running my eyes over them. This is very, very brief. Dig in, have a look at their schedules. Atlanta Falcons under 8.5. They're horrible. We're going 8.5 under easily. Buffalo 10.5. Bit of a struggle. Buffalo in and out each year. They're always amongst it. They're one of the best teams in the NFL. And then you look at their record and you're like, oh, yeah, they do drop a couple of weird, annoying, dumb games here and there. It does feel like this might be a bit of the last gasp Buffalo sort of season as well, where they're sort of always the bridesmaid, never the bride. They keep getting beaten by, Pat Mahomes or Joe Burrow or something, just, always falling short. And classic Buffalo form for a team and a franchise that lost, 4 straight Super Bowls at the start of the 90s. Going the over 10.5, though, I think there's some cushy teams in the AFC this year, so I think Buffalo should feast on that. Cincy, over 11.5. I think they're going to be a juggernaut this year. I hit on that last year for Cincy. They smashed it. We're going 11.5. Green Bay, no Aaron Rodgers. We've got Jordan Love going under 7.5. I think they stink this year. And the Pats, my beloved New England Patriots, theirs is 7.5. I'm like, Bill Belichick wins 7.5 games in his sleep.
That's a very low.
As long as they have functioning people on the ground, they win 8 games. Simple as that. So I'm going the Pats. So they're my 5 best ones so far, and I feel like there'll be an article about those pretty soon. But those are the first 5 that stood out. So I'll have more of those as we get closer to the NFL season. But are we ready for a bit of Rate My Multi, or should we do a bit of Stats Guy? We'll do Stats Guy, then we'll do a Rate My Multi, then the donation and finish it off. So
sounds good.
Stats Guy, what's your best bets for the weekend or whenever?
Looking, the race on Sunday in the F1 is the Austrian Grand Prix in Spielberg. Everyone's sick of
Stephen.
Stephen owns this track or something like that. The F1 has just been a bit boring this year. Red Bull's taken out every race, but this is definitely my best bet looking at a different team, a bit of value for Alpine. Alpine have been in the news this week. Ryan Reynolds is now part owner, and every team that Ryan Reynolds is going to at the moment seems to be having success, so they'll be happy with that. They're up to 5th on the standings through a very consistent car. They haven't had any issues the past few months. In the last few years, they've sort of had a few months been really good. Will drop off with car issues, but their car, I think they're in a Renault car now, has been awesome. And they've also got a very even driving duo with both French drivers, Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly, just knowing their roles. They're 9 and 10 in the driver rankings, unlike Ferrari, who we found out during the week had just been arguing. Sainz is not happy that he's the number 2 driver. Ocon knows he's the number 1. Gasly knows he's the number 2. They just work really well together on the track, which is very rare in F1 because you've got a lot of big heads in this industry, but they're working really well together. Then the vibrant, their pink car has just been absolutely flying. They've had a double points finish in 3 of their past 4 races. So they've finished in the top 10, both cars, in 3 of their last 4 races. And they also had a double points finish in Austria last year. So they don't mind this track. Ocon and Gasly are both very attacking drivers. Got a lot of corners on one side of this Red Bull ring track. And I think they're just going to try and take over. And they don't mind those tight corners, and you're going to be really attacking there. So don't mind them to get in the top 10 once again. You got McLaren, who are also in that midfield, really struggling. You got Ferrari arguing. I reckon they could even have a crash this week, and I'm going to have a look at the odds for that in the F1 article that will go up on cobet.com.au. Just a lot of teams other than Red Bull, Mercedes, and Aston Martin, actually, who are flying. But then just behind them is Alpine. So go Alpine, double points finish, $2.75 with Ladbrokes.
Love it. I do dig that. And if you were as handsome as Carlos Sainz as well, I'd be angry.
I think he's going to have the modeling career.
he's handsome as well, but they have a very sexy accent. I'll think that. Right. You ready for some Rate My Multi? A bit of AFL lines. These are the ones. So we did the AFL show yesterday. Big 50-plus minuter. We will be instigating a timer.
Yeah, I reckon. On Carlton games.
On Carlton games specifically. But Geelong minus 2.5. This is not one that Alex will probably agree with. He picked Sydney in this game, but I feel like Geelong have just enough to get over the line in Sydney tonight. Adelaide minus 44.5. That is blown out as well. I think that was 41, 42, and now 44.5.
40.5 yesterday.
Yeah, 44.5 against North. I'll take Adelaide minus 44.5. Collingwood, minus 6.5. Still one of the more head-scratching ones where I'm very tempted to go Gold Coast. Nah. And I'm just like, there's something sus going on here. We all understand it. But I'm like, but Collingwood are good. It's like, what happens? There'll definitely be upsets here, and it's going to annoy me, but it's staring us right in the face. That line's way too small. Collingwood are really good. So there's a reason. There's always a reason. Gold Coast at home, they're not that great. It's like, this isn't in the Northern Territories. They're not a juggernaut. So I'll take Collingwood. Essendon plus 12.5. I think Port could win this. but I think Essendon could keep it close in a weird sort of seesaw affair where they end up losing by 10 or something. And St Kilda minus 50.5 over the West Coast Eagles. We sort of talked this one out yesterday a little bit, where do you trust St Kilda to kick enough big enough score to actually cover against West Coast, who were a shambles last week? And I kind of do.
Yeah.
So that 5-leg line multi, $25.41. Gentlemen, rate my multi.
Oh, I'm trying to still have a think about this. I'm probably going to give it a 7 or a 7.5. I don't know if I trust the Essendon one. They looked horrible last week, and I think Port, the way that they're playing, their midfields could take over and win by 20 or so. But yeah, other than that, pretty good.
Alex?
-2.
Oh, bang.
Geelong.
Because of the Sydney one.
Also Essendon.
Yeah.
The Geelong one was like one that sort of, I'm tipping Geelong. I think Geelong wins.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
Essendon, like I am worried, like the Essendon, I feel like that's one of the upsets this week where Port sort of hit that point where it's like, we went to the G and we lost in a weird game or something, or at least it's really, really close.
Yep.
And they sort of Essendon scooched through after a really, really bad game last week. So, but either way, what else does it mean? It's now time for donation. Hopefully, Joe puts in the drop.
Sorry, Will.
Do a donation before I die.
Yeah, keeping away from some of these screwy AFL games where it's just really confusing. So we'll start off. Jaymz to kick 3 or more goals tomorrow afternoon at Marvel Stadium when Fremantle take on the Bulldogs. The D's to beat GWS in cold and blustery Alice Springs. Yes, that is a real sentence. The New Zealand Warriors to cover the line against the Bunnies tonight. That's 4.5. Brisbane Broncos to win. I can't believe I'm going to say this. Newcastle Knights also to win.
Yeah.
Then we head across to some horses. Rose Hill, race 5, number 3, Mogo Magic returns first up from a spell. Has never been beaten in a race or a trial and hasn't had a horse get within 3 lengths of it ever. It'll go there. It'll win well. Across to Rose Hill, race 7, number 2, Faulkner Park, who won 2 weeks ago for us. Looks a really nice horse on the way up. And $2.60 about it. Really keen. Gets a claim for Dylan Gibbons, who's riding really well. I think it's 8 legs there. Oh, we missed one. Crows minus 44.5 and over 179.5 points in that game tomorrow afternoon. Those 8 legs, gentlemen, $305.37.
Oh, Jesus.
That is just egregious.
To be fair, I thought it was going to be more than that. So that's pretty good. Yeah, can't lose.
Yeah. In terms of the AFL and NRL ones, like I don't mind the Warriors minus 4.5. The Newcastle one's interesting, but
Newcastle should win.
They're playing the Bulldogs, and the Bulldogs just
look horrible.
Stink.
The ones I don't know about is the horses, as every week, but I will take your word for it.
We've had one horse beaten in the last 4 weeks, so we're going well.
Not bad.
Nice. There you go. Well, there's the donation. Tell me how it loses. Simple as that.
No Carlton to ruin it this week.
Yeah, true.
Nothing,
don't put them in there.
Nothing Carlton related, just to trip you up and go, what? Why?
It was the one leg that cost us for $177 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
So, yeah, never again.
Hang on a second. Didn't you bet against Carlton in that one?
Like, that's what I mean. Carlton ruined it.
Yeah, they ruined it by winning. Yeah.
That's what you get for not believing, Alex. Right. I never believed. To the point where I had to watch that match on replay because we're at the footy all day. But either way, that's it. Co-Bet Daily done for the week. You can go check out the NRL show, a big AFL show as well. They're all up. We have the daily shows, of course. There's a lot of cricket talk. I think we hit a couple of the cricket ones.
We did. Yep.
Interestingly balanced at this point after a couple of days play. But we'll be back on deck on Monday. So get right around the show. Subscribe on your podcast app, like, review, and star it. And chuck a follow across all the socials of CodeBet. Facey, IG, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. And Twitch, of course. So you can keep an eye on the Battle Royale that is coming down the send in any questions, any comments via the socials. Make Leo earn his crust. And I think that's it. Good week. Thank you, Stats Guy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alex.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, we actually got to try on the new studio for size, tried a couple of different formations. I think the AFL show looked amazing. If you haven't watched it, go check out some of the videos, obviously on the YouTube, because all of these are also taped. So you can see our charming, handsome faces. Right. That's it. Thanks to Gerald, as always, for doing a great job behind the camera and the, I don't know, what is he, the audio editing software?
Setting up the studio, a bit of everything.
He's got buttons as well for our sound drops now, so that's good.
He's feeling good about that. All right, thanks to me. All right, what do we say, Stats Guy?
Gamble responsibly.
All right, may your picks come in. Happy punting. Have a great weekend. We'll catch you on Monday. Co-Bet Daily, out.
What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.